Well, we're starting a new Masechet, a new tractate. We start from Masechet Berachot, Perek Rishon. The Mishnah will start discussing the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema in the evening, and then we'll continue with other halachot regarding to Kriyat Shema in the mornings, etc. in upcoming chapters. Ask the Mishnah, "Me'matai korin et Shema be'arvin, misha she'kohanim nechasim lechol betumatam." The Mishnah asks, when do we start reciting the Kriyat Shema of Arvit? The Mishnah answers, misha she'kohanim nechasim lechol betumatam. At the time where the Kohanim would come in back into the Beit HaMikdash to eat their truma. Ad sof hashmura rishona divrei Rabbi Eliezer. As we know, a Kohen until the end of the first shift, and these are the words of Rabbi Eliezer. So just a Kohen, as we know that when a Kohen becomes impure, he has to go through a process of purity and then go to the mikveh and bring a sin offering. After the Kohen would go to the mikveh, he would have to wait until sunset in order to eat the truma. And therefore the Gemara and therefore the Mishnah tells us, when is this the proper time to start reciting Kriyat Shema? The indication would be when the Kohen goes to the mikveh and awaits the time for sunset, which would be later on. The Gemara will ask, why doesn't the Mishnah just say that it's Zman Avtzedok Kochavim, which means the seeing of the 3 stars, as we will see later on in the Gemara. V'chachamim omrim ad chatzot. Rabban Gamliel omer ad shel amud hashachar. So we see from this that the Mishnah does not bring that there is any dispute with it about the beginning of the time. Everybody holds that it's from the time of Shakohanim Nechasim Lechol B'Doatam. The dispute in the Mishnah itself is until when can one recite the Kriyat Shema. So Rabbi Eliezer says until the first shift, until the end of the first Shmura Rishona, and we'll see later on in the Gemara when is exactly that time. Chachamim said until Chatzot, and Rabbi Gamliel says until Amud Shachar. The discussion in the Gemara is not something that necessarily always dependent on time, on night time, or night altogether. The question here of Kriyat Shema is, when is it considered the time where people go to sleep? As we know, the pasuk says, "Ubeshavvecha uvkumecha," Ubeshavvecha implying that it's a time where people go and lay down to sleep. That's why you find the differences of opinion between when is this exact time that people go to sleep. So according to Rabbi Eliezer, until the first shift, people still go to sleep. Before that, it's not the time where people normally go to sleep. After that, it's also not Zman Kriyat Shema. Even though we do find people that go to sleep after the first watch, nevertheless, Rabbi Eliezer holds that this is the time that most of people go to sleep, and therefore this is the most auspicious and the most proper time for one to recite the Kriyat Shema of Arvit. Chachamim said that until Chatzot, people still go to sleep. We still call it the time of B'Shavcha. Rabban Gamliel says it's until Amud HaShachar. And though most people don't await until Amud HaShachar to go to sleep, nevertheless, it's still night. And we'll see later on in the Gemara whether Rabban Gamliel does agree with Chachamim, just like in the Mishnah itself, is going to ask how come Rabban Gamliel himself not follow Divrei Chachamim. מעשה ובאו ובניו מבית המשתה אמרו לו לא קרינו את שמה. So the sons of Rabbi Gamliel came from a wedding, for example, from Beit HaMishteh, אמרו לו, and they told him, we have not recited Kriyat Shema yet, and it was after Chatzot. אמר להן, אם לא עמוד השחר, חייבים אתם לקרות ולא זו בלבד אמרו, אלא כל מה שאמרו חכמים, עד חצות מצוותו עד שעלי עמוד השחר. So he says, if Amud HaShachar did not come, in other words, sunrise, well, not sunrise, but dusk, and then you are still obligated to recite the Kriyat Shema. says Rabban Gamliel to his sons. And Rabban Gamliel adds and say, all of the places that Chachamim said, Chatzot, it's only what's preferable to do. But as long as Amud HaShachar did not, the dusk is still not here, you're still obligated to fulfill the mitzvah, even though Chachamim said it's until Chatzot. The Gemara brings another case, in a case of burnt offering of the fats and the limbs, hekter chalavim, in regards to the burning of the fats and the limbs, mitzvatam machel amud hashachar. This implies also that the mitzvah is until amud hashachar, that the burnings of the fats and the limbs would be until amud hashachar. And all offerings that would bring which is called here liyom echad. Certain offerings would have a limited of time, how much a person could eat, how much time he has to eat it, and then from the time that he brings it, he has the whole day and the following night until Amud HaShachar to eat. After that, the animal or the meat will have a din of notar, which is not allowed to eat anymore. Therefore, why did Chachamim say all times in all of these mitzvot that one should do these mitzvot until Chatzot in order to distance a person from doing an Aveira? And meaning to say that if a person will neglect and wait the whole night, he might forget, and Amud HaShachar will come, and then he will transgress a prohibition of the Torah. Gemara asks, Tana Echakai. In other words, the Rashi explains where is the Gemara referring to when it starts right away. The Mishnah starts right away of asking, when do we start reciting Kriyat Shema? Why doesn't the Mishnah first ask what is the source of Kriyat Shema? How do we even know that one has to recite Kriyat Shema, whether it's an Arvit or Shachrit? How do we know that one has to recite it all together? Me'matai. V'tu ma'ishna detani ba'arvit b'reisha, litna t'shachrit b'reisha. Furthermore, why does the Mishnah start with the Kriyat Shema of Arvit? It should have started with the Kriyat of Shachrit. This is when people wake up. Why is the order of Arvit and then Shachrit? Answers the Gemara, Tana Akrakai. The Mishnah is a continuation and is reflecting of the Torah. The Torah says, Dichti b'shor b'chav kumecha. It's referring to the Torah where it says b'shor b'chav kumecha. Ve'achik tani. And this is, and in the verse b'shor b'chav kumecha, one learns that he has the obligation of reciting the Kriyat Shema. Ve'achik tani. And this is what the Mishnah is teaching us. Zman Kriyat Shema deshkiva. This that we learned in the Torah, that there's a time that one goes to sleep. Before going to sleep, he has to recite the Kriyat Shema. When is this exact time? This is the proper time to recite the Kriyat Shema. Is the time where the Kohanim would go in and eat their truma. And in reality, this answers of the Gemara really answers both of the questions. First question that the Gemara has: why is it that the Mishnah does not teach me the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema altogether before asking when we start reciting? So we answer that we learn it from B'shor b'chav kumecha. The second question: why do we start by teaching us the mitzvah, the time of reciting of Kriyat Shema Arvit instead of Kriyat Shachrit? And simply we could say because the order in the verse itself, it says b'shalvecha, at the time when one lays down to sleep, uvkumecha, and one wakes up. V'ipotema, the Gemara answers another answer. Eima yalif mipriyato shel olam. How do we learn that one should start? Why do we learn that we should first know the Kriyat Shema Arvit? We can learn that's the way that God created the world. The that the day always follows the night. that the night the night comes first and then comes the morning. Therefore, the Gemara started teaching us with the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema Arvit, and then later on taught us the mitzvah of Kriyat Shachrit. Iachi Seifa Diktani B'Shachar Mevacher Shtayim Lefanea V'Achat La'Acharea U'Ba'ech Mevacher Shtayim Lefanea V'Shtayim La'Acharea. If so, based on your logic, based on your what you just taught us, that we learned that B'Shov V'Chav Kumecha, we learned that when Hashem created the world, the order was that the day follows the night, that the night was created before, and therefore we teach us the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema, the time of Kriyat Shema Arvit, before, at first, and then the Kriyat Shema Arvit. Based on that, why is it that at the end of the Mishnah we find that the Mishnah teaches us the laws of Kriyat Shema and Shachrit, and then teaches us the laws of Kriyat Arvit, and it did not follow the same as the beginning of a Mishnah, in other words, our Mishnah? Answers the Gemara, Tana Patach Be'arvit, V'adar Tana B'Shachrit. Our Mishnah, our Tana of the Mishnah opened, in other words, it started teaching us the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema of Arvit. And after that it taught us the mitzvah and the time of Kriyat Shema of Shachrit. Dekai B'Shachrit, since the Mishnah, at the end of the Mishnah, it already was teaching us all the different laws of Kriyat Shema Shachrit, Parish Mila de Shachrit. It continued and explained all of the halachot pertaining the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema Shachrit. V'adar Parish Mila de Arvit, and after that it taught us all the laws of mitzvah, all the laws of Kriyat Shema of Arvit. And that's why over there the Mishnah did not start with Kriyat Shema Shel Arvit, but rather it taught us the Kriyat Shema Shel Shachrit and continued with all the laws of Kriyat Shema of Shachrit. Amar, Gemara asks a question, says, Misha Kohanim Chasim Lechovotam Birti Kohanim Emat Kayach Le'Truma Misha Tzedek Kochavim. He says he doesn't understand what it says in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Misha Kohanim Chasim Lechovotam. When do we start reciting Kriyat Shema Shel Arvit? The Mishnah teaches us that it's the time the Kohanim go eat and eat their Truma. Says, and when do the Kohanim go eat the Truma? It said the Kochavim. Ask Mar, Litna Mishatz the Kochavim Ilta, the Shatz the Kochavim. Just eat, the Mishnah should have just said in short, Me'matai Korim Shah B'Arvit, when does one recite the Kriyat Shema B'Arvit? Is the time, it said the Kochavim, instead of teaching us Mishat, Kohanim, V'chasim, V'chot B'Timotam, it should have just said it in short. The Gemara answered, Milta Agav Uche Kemash Malan. The Mishnah wanted to teach us something, B'derech Agav. It wanted to teach us another law. Kohanim, what did it want to teach us? The Kohanim, Emat Ka'achle B'Truma. When did the Kohanim eat the Truma? Mishat Tzedek Kochavim, at the time of the Tzedek Kochavim. V'ha Kemash Malan, and it's coming to teach us the Kapara Lo Me'agve. Coming to teach us that it's not the kapara, it's not the korban that the Kohanim had to bring in the process, after the process of purification. And we mentioned above that the Kohen, after going the process of purification and going to the mikveh, he still had to do two things in order to have a complete kapara, in order to have a complete atonement for becoming impure. First, you would have to wait for sunset, you would have to wait for Tzedek Kochavim, then you would have to bring a korban, you would have to bring a sacrifice to atone for his sin. But the Mishnah teaches us here that the kapara itself, in order for him to eat Truma, he does not have to wait until he brings the korban. He only has to wait until sunset, until Tzedek Kochavim, and after that he can immediately eat Truma. And the kapara itself, in other words, the sacrifice itself, does not prevent him from eating the Truma. How do we know so? Because the verse tells us so. And the sun will come and will purify. and the sun will the sun will set and would purify. It's the sunset that deprives him from eating the truma. And it's not his kapara, in other words, it's not his sacrifice that prevents him from eating truma. Umimai, the Gemara asks, how do you know who ba? How do we know that when the verse says V'ba Hashemesh, that the sun came implies that it's the sunset? And how do we know when it says Vataher, it means that the day itself was completely removed, completely gone?